Hey guys, welcome to day 2 of Squats to Trots. Today, as we talked about, we're going to focus on kind of the middle region. So we're going to focus on your core. One of the most important things about being on a horse is having that strong core to kind of suck you onto the saddle. And the other thing we're going to work on is your pelvic mobility, getting yourself in the correct position on the horse, making sure you're not sitting on your butt cheeks, but actually rolling and sitting on your pelvis, so getting that mobility of your hips. So those are the main things we're going to work on. So we're going to start with our warm-up, and I already got my helper here and in place. All right, so we're going to start by working our whole spine. So we're going to start by loosening everything up. So we're going to start by laying down. Whoop. All right. You're going to be on your side here. My knees are bent. My arm is out. My cat is in place. All right, so you're going to take your top hand and you're going to reach over your fingers. And then you're going to open it wide. Come back in. Slide your hands forward. Open it wide. So this is working your thoracic, kind of right where your lungs are. Opening it up. A lot of times we get, if we have office jobs or you're kind of doing the same job over and over, you get stiff in the spine. Good. One more on this side. All right. Switching sides. All right, so same thing. My knees are about at a 90 degrees. My hand is out, so my palm is up. I take my top palm, slide it across, open it up. Exhale on the open. Slide it across, open it up. The cat adds the level of difficulty, making you stretch a little more. Keep your breathing. Inhale here. Exhale as you open. Really matching your breathing with your movements, and everything we do, that will translate to the horse. All right, so now we're gonna go what's called a scorpion. So you're gonna go on your belly, move your helper. All right, so now you can either go goalpost arms here, where your arms are, I need a little bit of room. Okay, where your arms are either in goalpost or they're out straight. So your head is going to turn. Okay. All right. Your head is going to turn whichever way your leg doesn't go. So I'm going to turn my head towards you, and my leg comes behind me right here. Right there. So then my head turns away from you and my foot comes this way. So you're really working that mobility. How far your foot goes just depends on how mobile your spine is here. You're kind of opening up the hips. So even if you're just right here, totally fine. You have a starting point. Good. Stretching it out. Again, find your starting point. Don't push it. We're just working on mobility, getting everything moving. Keep your breath. Good. All right. Now you're going to stay on your belly. Your hands are going to go, we're going to go Y. Move your helper. Whoop. And then they're going to go behind you here, okay? So we did this a little bit yesterday, but we're just going to kind of warm up with it. So you're going to lift, push your hands down in your pocket, come back down. Lift, hands in your pockets, come back down. All right, now we're going to add on to it. So your hands are gonna come up, swing it out behind you, stuff them in your pockets. Toes stay on the ground. All right, back up. Up, swing them around, stuff your hands in your pocket, getting that extra stretch. Back up and down. Last one here. Y, rotate your arms down, slide them in your pocket, and back around. All right, now you're gonna come up. All right, so this one, we're working a little bit lower here. There we go. All right, feet are out, hands are behind you. You're gonna keep your feet kind of close to you because you're going to lay your knee down. So now you're in a 90-90. So knees are at 90. If you need to make it bigger, make it bigger. If you can't go all the way down, that's fine. Again, we're working on mobility here. So we're kind of getting a feel for how mobile your hips are. This may be super easy for some people. You may be stuck right here before you feel like you really have to like lift your leg off the ground. So we're trying to keep your butt cheeks on the ground right here. And if you can, if this is one that's really easy for you, you're gonna add on. So you're gonna be here, and then you're gonna reach through here. Back up. Rotate down, reach through here. So now you should feel this on the outside of your hip. Exhale as you press into it. And again, finding that starting point. It's gonna be the key for everything, for your riding, for everything, for your horse. Last one on each side. Make sure your helper's actually helping and not making it easier on you. Good. All right, now we're gonna stand up and we're gonna stretch your quads out a little bit. That's just to stretch a little bit of your quads, but your hip flexors. So as you're standing, you can balance on something if you need to, but I want you to push your hips forward, pull your shoulders back. That's gonna get that hip stretched a little more. Good. And switch. Same thing. So you're gonna pick your foot up. Make sure your knees are coming in, so don't let your knee come out here. So knees together. Whoop. Push your hips forward. All right. All right, last move to warm everything up. All right, we've done this before. It's gonna be runner's lunge. So you're in your plank here, you pull your leg forward. Then you're gonna take the arm from your bent leg, put it behind your back. It's like a little chicken wing here. And you're gonna push it up, push it down. Back in. Back to plank, foot up. So again, if you need to, you can have your hands on a step or on the couch. Get yourself elevated a little bit. Good. Or if you need to, you can be, whoops, more up here. Stretching it and rotating it. So we're working on your mobility, but it's all about finding the starting point. Good. Back in, stand up. All right, so spine, everything should be a little more loose. All right. Now we're gonna talk about your pelvic movement here. All right. So what I want you to do is lay down. This is mimicking you on the horse. So you want to have a perfectly straight back. What you don't want to have, I'm going to keep my arm up so you can see, is your spine, you can see my hand coming through, lifted off the ground. So this takes mobility of your spine, pressing down, and watch my hips. So right now my hips are tilted back. I can push them forward. So even if you have to manually rotate them forward, and now I can feel all my spine on the ground. And it may not hit there if you don't have that mobility right away. So even if you can just get them turned a little bit, but you still feel a little pocket under your back, that's where you're at right now. We're gonna work on increasing this mobility. So as you rotate your hips down, I want you thinking about pressing from the top of your spine down. So you're pressing your spine one vertebrae at a time and trying to press that into the ground. All right, so again, you can let it come back up and go back in. So again, you can see my hand underneath. So you have this over rotation here. So again, we're going to press our spine into the ground. If you need to, physically rotate your pelvis right here. So you can see my pelvis tilted, and I'm going to rotate it forward right here. This is where you want it to be. Even if you need to hold it for a couple seconds and then it starts to hurt, relax it back in. And then you're gonna do it again. Rotate, press, hold. So this key is key for your riding. In order for you to get into position on a horse, you have to have the mobility of your hips to actually get you in the correct position. If not, you're going to be leaning forward. So if I was on a horse and my hips are tilted back like they were, this is the position I'm going to be on the horse. If I can get them rotated underneath me, now I have my nice spine. Hips tilted out pushes me forward. This, you're not going to have any contact with the horse. You're going to be leaning forward. You're most likely going to be gripping with your knees, which is going to cause your lower legs to move. So if you can, manually rotate them up. So if you need to do this standing, you can. On the ground is just a little extra, you know exactly when you're straight. So when you're on the ground, you can feel your spine on the ground. So if there's this little pocket, like right now I can slide my hand in, I know I need to rotate my hips, tighten my core a little bit. And as you tighten your core, I don't want you thinking suck it in like you're taking a picture. Suck it in. I want you thinking tightening it like somebody's about to come and sucker punch you or come and tickle you, where you do that tighten of the muscles. That's what we're focused on today. All right? This is your main thing. This might take you a while. So depending on how tight your spine is, how tight your hips are, this might take you a while to get in this position. But just, it's super easy. You can practice it every day. Take your hips and rotate them. The thing when you're on the horse, you're moving around, the horse is moving, and you can't take your hands and physically roll your hips. So you need to know this movement and feel it in your body and in your mind, what this feels like when your hips are in this position. Because this is the position you need to be when you're on your horse. All right? Now, we're gonna add on to it. Move your helper a little bit. Okay, so now we have our hips in the correct position. I want you to lift your legs. All right. Now your hips are staying in the correct position. My back is down. I know there's no space. I want you to drop one leg and then the other. All right. So now as you drop, if your back starts to lift off the ground, don't go as far. See what kind of movement you have with keeping your hips down. So my legs are at 90, my toes are up like they're in the stirrups. Toes are up, heels are down. So if I'm right here and my back starts to lift, I know I need to tell myself to push it down, and that might be my range of motion. All right, so push it down, keep it in your head. Bring it up, down, up. So as you do this, now you have your pelvis going and you have your core tight. Tighten and up. All right. So again, if you ever find a point where you're like, my body's not quite ready for that yet because I don't have the mobility, that's your limit for right now. And again, that's what this is all about, is just making it better. All right, so now we're gonna take our hands and we're gonna start easy by pulling it just straight down like you would on the horse. So you're holding your reins, pull one, pull the other, now pull both. But as you do it, keep reminding yourself to push your spine down. All right. Now we're gonna add opposite leg, opposite hand. Down and up. Down and up. Good. So again, the key is to not let that spine lift off the ground. If you need to change your range of motion, shorten it up. If you need to take away a hand or take away a leg, find your point and build upon it. This is all about learning your body. All right, so now what we could do is increase the intensity, and we're going to push a hand behind our head and behind our head. So this is now working on not only your pelvis and spine range of motion, it's also working on your shoulders and lats range of motion. Good. So now let's go opposite leg, opposite hand. Good. Not letting the spine lift off the ground. Keep your breathing slow and steady. Opposite hand, opposite leg. Keep your other hand straight up in the air. Good. Keep that spine down and take a break. All right, relax your back, move your hips around. All right, we're gonna go again. Push your spine into the ground. Rotate those pelvis. Push the vertebrae into the ground and breathe. Hold it there. Legs come up. Left leg down. Up. Right leg down. Up. Add the arms. Opposite hand. Opposite leg. Now see if you can do both. Find that starting point. But again, whoops, if you feel like you're starting to lift off the ground, don't add it in. So we got to be able to get independent. So sometimes we're turning, we got to add right rein, left leg, back up. Turn the other way. Right leg, left arm. Good. A little bit of bowl. All right, we're going to turn right. Right arm, add that left leg. Don't let them bow out. Keep your back down. Good. Opposite. We're turning left now. Good. One more down. Good. All right. Back up. All right. Now, we're going to work your butt a little bit. We're going to work your glutes in a bridge. So it's going to be same position, but now we're adding a little bit more glute action to it. Your glutes are obviously tied up to your lower back. So we're going to come down again. And you're going to, same position, roll your spine down. You can't see. Roll your spine down. Make sure everything's touching. Pelvis is tilted. All right? Get this position first. And then lift. So now you see me. I'm still a straight line off the ground. So I'm not overbent. And I don't have my back arched. So my pelvis is tilted. Now I'm just off the ground. Now if you can, your hands are going to go down. This may be your limit, but we're going to try to raise one leg at a time. Now your goal here is to not let yourself rotate. So again, it's an anti-rotation. Keep your heels down and back. Hold it. Don't let the back start to arch. Keep the pelvis tilted and up. Couple more. Try not to switch the cat. Good. Ah. All right, one more each side. Keep lifted and down. All right. So now we're gonna go bird dog, which is on your knees. You're right here. So if this hurts your knees, you can, one, put a towel under you, or two, you can do this standing. So I'll show it to you on the ground first. We are in the ground. Your knees are hip width apart, so they're straight under you. Your hands are right under your shoulders. As you're in this, I want you tucking your abs in. So tighten up that core just like we did on the ground. So you're gonna be right here. And now you're gonna, the goal is to do opposite hand, opposite leg, but find a starting point. Check yourself first. Make sure you can go hands, make sure you can go legs, then we can start adding it together. So we'll do a mix. If this hurts your knees too bad on the ground, you're gonna do it standing. So it's gonna add more balance to you. So you still have to tuck it in, roll your hips. Same thing as we were laying on our backs. Now, you know, you have your arms and you have your legs, all right? So you have same thing, and if you can, we're gonna go them together. But what I don't want is that big arch right here. So roll the hips in, okay? Same thing if we're on our knees. Roll the hips in, tighten the core up. Gravity's gonna wanna pull it down, so you have to tuck everything up, roll your hips. We're gonna check our arms first. So make sure you can move your arms, tighten up every time you lift. Arms. One more time. Arms. Arms. All right, keep your pelvis tilted. We're gonna go legs. So you're kicking straight back. You're going straight back, so don't overlift and get that bend in your back. Straight back. One more time each leg. Back. Back. All right. Now, if you feel like you're ready, again, find your starting point. If you feel like your back is starting to arch, or you feel like you're really starting to lean, stick with where you feel comfortable right now. Form is everything. It doesn't matter if you're able to do this and you look like this, okay? So tighten up, get your pelvis, get your core. And if you can, go opposite legs, opposite arms. If you need to, just do your arms, just do your legs. Find where you can do it. Keep track of your back. Do self-checks. Remember, the first part is knowing the mistake. Second part is catching yourself do it. I catch myself arching my back all the time, so you have to remind yourself, tilt those hips, then lift. Hold it in. Tilt your hips, lift. Hold it in. Last one each side. Tilt your hips, lift. Tilt your hips, lift. Good. All right. We're going to roll through the bridge one more time. All right. So again, we're going on our back. Check your spine. Push it down. Feet close to your butt. The closer your feet, the more butt you're going to work. The farther out they are, the more hamstrings are going to work. And we want to focus on our butt right now. And again, roll your hips. Now we lift. Arms out. So if this is too much, you can keep your butt on the ground in this form right here and lift. All right. You can raise up and down. All right. I think I lost you guys for a second. We're back up, it looks like. So again, if you guys have any questions or need any help with anything, let me know as we're here. I'm trying to keep an eye on our comments. Good. Last one. All right. Let me make sure. Ouch. All right. Now we're going to go back to your bird dog. So we're going to go knees down. Tuck, roll your hips, tuck your abs in. So you're tightening up that core. Keep your head straight, so try not to be looking up. Keep your head straight. I'm going to talk you through it. Right hand, down. Left hand, down. Right hand, keep everything tight. Left hand. Now we're going to go to our legs. Right leg, don't lean. Down, fix your hips. Left leg, down, fix your hips. Hold everything tight, don't lean. Left leg again. All right, now if you're ready for it, right hand, left leg, back in. Left hand, right leg, back in. Stretch it out, back in, fix your hips. Last one, and down. So you want to make sure your toes are facing down on those. All right, we have 2 final exercises. We're going to go into our spider plank. So it's pretty much like the runner's lunge. You are going to be in your plank. So again, if you need to, put your hands up on something higher. So you can do all the same stuff with your hands up high. So our leg's going to come in and back down. So this is your motion. Again, we're trying not to rotate here. So I'm going to tell you a secret. The biggest thing is you can see somebody with a 6-pack and they can have terrible core control. They can have terrible balance. They don't work their transverse muscles. So they don't work those very inner muscles that help you stabilize, which is all the muscles we need as equestrians. We don't technically need a 6-pack to ride a horse. If you want a 6-pack, great, we can get you there. It just takes a little bit different workouts. It takes nutrition, it takes this and that. What we need as equestrians are the stabilizer muscles, those very intrinsic muscles to hold you on there, keep you in place. That's what we're focused on. So stabilization is key. So we're right here in our plank. Our leg comes forward and back. All right, this is our move. So again, if you need to, you can drop from your knees and come in and have a knee down, or you can elevate your hands. Choose your poison here. All right. Hold it in. So especially as we're adding a longer lever, I want you really focused on tightening your abs, keeping your pelvis in that position. So don't let that arch happen. Roll it and tuck it. All right. Here we go. Leg in, push your hips down. Back in. Hips down. Good. All right. Get those legs up. You want your weight in your heel here, so don't get it where your weight is in your toe, because that adds all the pressure to your knee. So drive to your heel, and if you can't, just try to bring your foot forward, but don't put weight on it. All right? So if this range of motion is too much for you, elevate your hands or go to your knees, or don't allow yourself to really touch your weight down onto it. Drive, heels down. All right, shake it out for a second. All right. Our next one we're gonna work are more obliques, but still working on the stabilizers of the obliques. So we're gonna go in side plank. So a couple options here. You can drop this knee down But what I want is your side to be lifted. So I don't really want your hip on the ground unless you really need to take it there. Then I want you to really lift up here, keep it up, okay? And if you can, if you have to have your hip on the ground, I want you trying for little pulses. So lift, down, lift, down. Another option, having your feet staggered quite a bit here. So my front leg is forward, my back leg is back, and I'm right here. Or you can have them stacked. But whatever you do, you can see I can fit a full cat length in between me. Then the cat risks his life, keeping me up. All right, everybody ready? Here we go. Find your option here. Knee down. You can have your hip down, but you gotta lift it up some. You can have your feet staggered or stacked. And go, right here. Slow deep breaths, hold it. I want your shoulder out of your ear, so I don't want you tucked with your ear into your shoulder. Push it away, right here. Deep breaths, hold it. 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Change your sides. All right. Arm, elbow under your shoulder right here, nice and straight. My floor is going to be slippery. All right, I'm going feet stacked. We're right here. I'm lifted. So what we're working right now are these obliques, but we're working to keep them from falling down here. So your hips have to take action. Your core has to take action. You got to get out of your head. Deep breaths. 3, 2, 1. All right. Relax for a second. We're going to run through those one more time. Now you know them. We're going to go back to our spider plank. So we're going to be in plank. So even if you just need to hold plank right now and don't feel like you can move, totally fine. Or if you're in plank, on your knees, on the couch, on a step, whatever, and you just feel like, I just need to work on lifting my leg first, find that starting point. So you can be on the couch, right here, and you can step, or you can just lift. Remember, the farther apart your legs, the easier it is. So maybe you just pick your foot off the ground. All right, so find that point that you feel like I have good form that I can hold and I'm not rotating. My core is tight, my butt's not in the air, I'm not arched. Find that starting point and build upon it. All right, so we're in plank, we're tucked in, our hips are rolled, core is tight, rotate it up, press those hips in. Extra wide with the cat. Good. So again, try not to look up at me. Keep your neck nice and straight right now. Again, weight on your heel. Don't let your weight go on your toes. So I should be able to lift my toes right here. Good. 2 more. 1. Hold it. 2. Back to plank, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop. All right. Last thing, we're going for our side plank. All right, again, elbow under your shoulder. Get your shoulder out of your ear. All right. Take your poison again. You can have hips down as long as you're pressing them up a little bit. So you're going to pulse it up. All right. You can hold it right here if you can. You can go staggered stance or feet stacked. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Lift. Hold. Play with your cat to keep you entertained. Good. Keep nice and straight. Keep it lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Last thing before we stretch it out. You guys got this. This one's a slower one, but it's still intense, and it's extra, extra important. Ready? 3, 2, lift. So this is one of the most important ones you'll do. Getting you in that correct position when you're on the horse, building your core strength, starting to learn your body. That's what the most important thing about this is. Learning your body, being aware of what it's doing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. All right. We're going to stretch it out. If you're not aware of the position your body's in, when you get on a horse, you don't know what you look like, and your trainer's just yelling at you to get you in a position. You don't know what you're in like here. You don't know what you feel like here. So being aware of your body, starting to feel it. Once you feel it, you can start replicating it. You can start catching yourself when you're not doing it correctly. All right, we're gonna go cobra. So you're gonna go on your belly. My toes are down, so my laces are on the ground. Thumbs right by my armpits. Press it up. So again, how high you press, you can be down here, is all on your mobility, your flexibility. Deep breaths. If you can, engage your legs. So now my thighs are off the ground. Now my knees are off the ground. So finding that strength. All right. Now if you can, this might be hard on some people's knees. You want wide legs here, and you want to reach forward. Stretch it down. If that's too hard, you can be standing or anything and just stretch it forward. We're just adding a little bit hip strength or hip mobility here. Deep breaths. All right. Take your right hand, thread it through. Hold it. Switch. Other hand, thread it through. It's raining. All right. Now you're going to sit up. You're going to keep your hips rolled like we've been working on, so you have a straight back. So no arching of it here. You're going to take your foot, lay it across. So my top foot is flexed. My toes are up. That helps protect my knees. It helps work on your flexibility of your ankle joint because stretches out your calf as well. We need all these things to happen to get our heels down in the stirrup. If your calf's extra tight or your ankle's extra tight, it's going to be really hard for you to get your heels down, and you're going to be questioning yourself why you can't get your heels down when your trainer's yelling at you all the time. It's just because your body's tight. So not everything is because you're a bad rider. If you're running into these issues or getting yelled at, not everything's because you're a bad rider or you're a new rider or you have something wrong with you or you haven't been riding for long enough. It might just be because your body's tight. It physically can't get in that correct position. So right now you should feel the outside hip stretch along with all the other good stuff we talked about. Slow, deep breath. All right. Shake it out. Hopefully that helped. If anybody ever has any questions while this is going on, let me know. Whether it be with your body or the workouts or your horse, kind of issues you're running into, your form on your horse, whatever it is, feel free to ask. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.